Whatever you want.
How's it going, GSD fans?
So for GSD Tabletop, we are going to be demoing Ascension Chronicle of the Godslayer and its first expansion, Return of the Fallen. And to tell us a little bit more about deck building games is Tyler.
I hate you so much.
So you're gonna cut that part out where I said I hated him.
Yeah.
Just I'm letting you know now on the video, so when you edit it, you will cut it out. So a deck building game is quite different from any other CCG or trading card game that you might see. A deck building game involves where all the players start with the same cards, and as the game progresses, you buy cards. That way you can advance your deck and your goal. That way you can eventually become the winner.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Some of us don't win so often. Rude. Other themes of deck building games is that there's generally a currency that all players have access to. The cards are available to generally all the players. Ascension is slightly different, where there is a random center row that changes throughout the game. Every player has different access to different things, depending on what has happened previously. So this is what the board looks like. So this is the card that is primarily bought by players for currency. It gives you runes here, as denoted by the silver triangle. She has a cost in the top right, as all heroes do in constructs in the game. And their name is in the top left. If they give you an honor value, it will be in the bottom left, namely here next to the star. The second main card is the heavy infantry. It's the secondary currency, which gives you power. Power is used to fight monsters that are on the board, namely things that look like this. They have a red border, and they will have a power value in the top right. The other primary card is the cultist. It can always be fought and is always available to all players and rewards 1 honor each time he is killed.
So in Ascension, there are 4 factions: Lifebound, which are denoted by green cards, Enlightened, or silvery blue, Mechana, which are kind of brownish, and then Void, which are typically purple. And there's 2 types of cards within these 4 factions. We have heroes represented here, and constructs here. Both of these cards, when purchased, go into your deck, but when you play constructs, they actually stay out in the field in front of you, similar to permanents in Magic. The heroes are then, after they're used, they're put into your discard pile and reshuffled as needed.
Each player starts with 10 cards. 2 militia, which are worth 1 power each, and 8 apprentices, which are worth 1 rune each. You shuffle these, draw 5, and that makes your starting hand, and then you start the game. This is the portal deck, where all the other monsters, constructs, and heroes are going to be drawn from. And we draw from here to replace cards that will need to be replaced from the alley in the middle. And these like the monsters will go into the void whenever they're defeated, just like the heroes and the equipment will go into your discard pile after you purchase them.
Alright, so I'm going to start out the turn. As you can see, my hand actually got both militia and 3 apprentices. If this was a high cost little center row, I would be screwed. Luckily, there are things in here that cost 2 and 3. So I'm going to use my 3 apprentice, and I'm going to buy this wolf shaman. And since I got both militia, I'm going to go on and smack the cultists and get 1 honor.
So as he buys the card, we replace it as soon as it's bought. So this allows players to be able to, it brings a lot of randomness into the game because you never know what might show up.
And you do it immediately because there's certain cards in the expansion Return of the Fallen with a fate mechanic, and we'll actually cover that when we get to one. But they affect things immediately once they hit the center row.
Alright, after I buy everything, then everything goes into the discard pile.
And let's see. I have a split militia. So I have 2 apprentices, and a militia.
That may be worse.
Yep. So I'm going to buy the Seer of the Forked Path, 2. And my remaining 2, I'm going to buy heavy infantry. And I don't have enough to hit the cultist. So, Gabby, it is your turn.
My hand consists of 4 apprentices and 1 militia. So I can't hit the cultist either. So I'm going to buy Artha Sensei for 3. Discard. And Then it's your turn.
Alright, so I also have a split militia. So I have 4 apprentices and just 1 militia, so I can't fight the cultist. But what I can do is buy one of these spiked vixens for 2.
Alright. So we have a fate, finally. Alright. Stone Circle's fate is when this enters the center row, each player may acquire a mystic, put it on top of their deck.
Cool.
So now we can all grab a mystic from the pile and put it on top of our decks.
Do you want?
Okay, so I have 2 more runes, so I'm going to go ahead and buy a heavy infantry. And discard and draw 5.
My starting hand has 0 militia, so I have all apprentice, which means I have 5 buying power for the turn. With that 5 buying power, there are only 2 things in play that I can actually purchase. I don't really like either of them that much, so I'm going to just buy a mystic for 3, and I'm going to buy a heavy infantry for 2. Into my turn, I discard all of my cards, I draw 5 cards, and pass.
One thing that's different about Ascension versus a game like Dominion is you don't have just one buy phase. You can buy as much stuff as you can afford. So that's why Tyler was able to buy 2 things, because he could afford 2 things. So.
Unlike him, I am going to buy the Stone Circle since I got 5 apprentices. Alright.
I dare you!
Oh my goodness.
That was a lot sooner than I thought it'd come up,
I
actually.
know.
For those that don't know, a really big card just came out on the table.
It might or might not be real good.
Yeah, no, it's going to be real good for whoever gets it. Because his ability is acquire or defeat any card in the center row. You don't have to pay power or runes. So basically, you play him, you get whatever you want.
That automatically means amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a mystic as well.
I'm so happy, oh, happy, lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worrying's just a dream. Things that bother you never bother me. Things that bother you never bother me. I feel happy and fine, living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Having got a lot, I don't need a lot, coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Just think about me, I'm just as free as any daughter. I do what I like, just what I like, and how I love it. I'm right here.
Now that all the honor's gone and we've gone through a full round of everybody's turn, we all count up our honor from the plastic chips and what's printed on the cards, and then we determine who wins.
68.
Oh, for real?
What'd you get, John?
I got 102.
Oh,
Fruitcake, sugar honey, iced tea.
Yes!
Nice.
I had 101!
I had 99.
Oh!
76.
That was a good game.
That was good.
Game.
That was really.
Concluding thoughts?
John's son of a bitch. Other than that, it's a fun game.
Yeah, the reason why this is better than Dominion is because it's just a better theme.
I'm sorry, I still like Dominion better.
I still like Dominion, but I just
It's just like
And
a lot of
I'm
hate
able
on
to
Dominion. You
enjoy
know what?
this
This
a
is
lot more.
better than
It
Dominion.
involves more
It's also
competition
better than
between
Dominion.
players.
Wow.
right, like in Dominion, everything's out there. You know what it's going to be. There's very little you can do to interact with each other
Everyone gets
except
the same
buying up
cards.
all the cards.
Actually, even
Well,
when
you
we
do
were
have-
playing, we got different cards.
Well, yeah, there are the attack cards in Dominion, which does involve a little bit more player interaction than
What?
this. The only time you really interact with the other players is certain monsters that make you discard constructs, or the one broke-ass, Zedru, the Duke of Lies, that makes you...
It's not like.
Well, I feel like
having.
having players buy cards every turn, and since we don't have a stack of them to buy from on Dominion,
Mhm.
it may, you know, like on your turn, there may be a really cool card, and it's not going to make it to me probably.
Yeah.